has access to the very powerful dynamic punch. However, much like many other fighters, it has a lot of attack, but its defense and HP is kind of lacking, so it can be a little glassy. And we are right into the battles here. We have Swampert going into an Alolan Ninetales running Charm.
Oh my gosh, you can see these charms adding up right away. This is a Shadow Swampert. It is taking more damage than the regular variant. We're going to see this first Hydro Cannon go unshielded from the Swampert, but look at these now poison jabs coming out from this Nidoqueen. A very aggressive swap coming from Cactus. Does need to respect this Ice Weather Ball coming through here, and it is going to be hitting for super effective. Very gutsy call there, allowing it to go down, but Cactus perhaps knowing that there might be a counter coming through here. The Swampert comes in and makes it to the charge move.
Right, so the Swampert again coming into the charge move, no shield. Cactus instead opting to save their 2 protect shields for either the Swampert or the Toxicroak. Toxicroak is definitely a powerful Pokemon, but benefits from having a few shields. So Swampert, this Shadow Swampert against a regular Swampert, we're gonna start seeing the water fly. It is feeling a little rainy day today here in Indianapolis, Wholesome.
Yeah, shield comes out from Trent, wants to preserve that Swampert. The Shadow Swampert from Cactus, absolutely going to be able to hit very hard with these Hydro Cannons. We're going to be seeing the Hydro Cannon come in this time from Trent, and we see a first shield rather come out from Cactus. Trying to race to this next Hydro Cannon, we have a CMP event. It is going to be the Shadow Swampert taking the win on this one, and we see another shield, the second shield come out from Trent.
All right, so taking a look here. So again, and you just like you said, a CMP event. So that Hydro Cannon fired off right away, and it is going to knock out the Swampert, fainting it. And then all we have left is the Toxicroak, and the Toxicroak does have that shield, but it has a rough time. Trent still has all 3 of his Pokemon.
This is going to be tough, despite Toxicroak being a fighting Pokemon and knowing that there is that dark Umbreon in the back. It is still going to be a very challenging play here. You have to get to 2 Sludge Bombs most likely to KO, maybe a Sludge Bomb and a Mud Bomb, but look, we're at the last resort already for the Umbreon. It's going to be a relatively hard-hitting neutral move. Everything is on this Umbreon, or rather, everything is on this Toxicroak. I don't know if it's going to be able to hold on.
No, this is a very uphill battle for the Toxicroak, but those counter damages are adding up, and the Umbreon opting to go for a last resort. Cactus having those no shields remaining. The last resort connects, brings the Toxicroak far down into the red, and Toxicroak, oh, and the Umbreon gets to the foul play first. I saw Cactus also kind of looking for that charge move.
Yeah, it was going to be tough no matter what, but the Umbreon able to get to the foul play. It is enough, despite being resisted damage, to take out the Toxicroak. Cactus having a little bit of a challenge on that one. That Nidoqueen unable to get any value, really. Able to soak up some moves, but unable to launch a charge move. Did get to the Earth Power, but letting it go down to the Swampert. Hydro Cannon KOing the Nidoqueen. Game number 1 goes to Trent. We're going to have to see Cactus go back to the drawing board and see what he can figure out for game 2.
Right, and we talked about that Toxicroak, but I feel like we really didn't get to see it shine. I think that Toxicroak needed maybe another shield, or just maybe a little bit different alignment to really be able to show how great of a fighter it really is.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, I think we would have seen that Nidoqueen from Cactus get a little bit more value, perhaps a shield out of that Swampert, and could have perhaps led to a different outcome in that battle. But this time, I think it's time to just collect yourself, say no mistakes, let's be as precise and pristine as possible, and try and do better here in game number 2. So looks like that they're getting ready to go here. We'll see if we see the Toxicroak again, or if Cactus perhaps has a different strategy.
I know, I am very much excited. So here we go, game number 2. We have the Walrein versus the Umbreon, and that Toxicroak is still in the back. We also see the introduction of the Galarian Stunfisk over on Trent's team.
Okay, well, I'm liking from what I see from Cactus's team 2 nice answers for that Galarian Stunfisk in the back, both the Toxicroak as well as the Swampert. So regardless of whether you win or lose Switch, going to have a good answer. The question is, how do you take out the opposing Swampert? This Umbreon here going to be doing quite a bit of damage as well, and we see the Earthquake come out, landing on the Umbreon, taking it to about half HP.
All right, so we have two very powerful Pokemon here. Umbreon being able to outlast a lot of charge moves. It throws a foul play here. The Walrein is going to have to start thinking about shielding. The Umbreon can definitely handle another Icicle Spear. We look for a catch, doesn't quite make it. Umbreon does throw the Last Resort onto the Toxicroak.
Okay, so this Last Resort is going to hit for some nice neutral damage, take it to about 60% HP, and we're likely going to be seeing the swap out. And it is indeed the Swampert. These Mud Shots are hitting for super effective due to the poison typing of the Toxicroak. However, it is going to be able to get to this Mud Bomb here. This will not threaten a feint for the Swampert, able to take that one on the chin.
All right, so this Swampert has so much energy, 2 Hydro Cannons already. 1 is more than enough to handle this Toxicroak, and it looks like Cactus looking to not use a Protect Shield and instead letting the Toxicroak go down.
All right. So now we're going to see, do you want to bring back the Walrein, which has a nice matchup, versus the Swampert, or your own Swampert with a bit more of a neutral matchup? Lots of energy from this Walrein here. Walrein is going to throw this Icicle, or rather it's going to lose CMP, unfortunately, to this to the Swampert and be forced to use a Protect Shield. That's pretty tough. You had a lot of energy, would have liked to have gotten it off and then perhaps let the Walrein go, but no, needing to use your last Protect Shield Cactuses just in order to get both of these Icicle Spears off.
Right, so still has a lot of energy. Walrein going straight for the Earthquake. No bait here, but Trent sees right through it and puts up a Protect Shield.
All right, this is a great shield from Trent, going to be able to block that super effective Earthquake damage. It is now a 1-to-1 shield scenario. We're going to see the Earthquake come out from this Galarian Stunfisk. This could be a bait. We're going to have a very tough decision for Cactus, and correctly shields the Earthquake. That is a big shield coming from Cactus. Quickly building to these Hydro Cannons. We do see the Sludge Wave on this Swampert as well. Very interesting, but we are now shields down from Cactus. This foul play is going to hit for neutral and do a good amount of damage.
It will, so takes Swampert down under half health. Swampert again, just the energy generation is insane. Throwing another Hydro Cannon and has another in the bank.
All right, well, I think it's going to take 2 Hydros to knock out this Galarian Stunfisk, so it's going to come out of this matchup from this Umbreon with a little bit of energy, but it's going to be a race to the finish. The question is, will a Rock Slide knock out the Swampert? Will there be a potential catch here as well? We're going to see the Hydro Cannon come out from the Swampert. This is a lot of damage, especially from the Shadow variant. There is a potential catch that we could see from this Walrein. Let's see how these battlers play it out.
Oh my goodness, look at that Hydro Cannon.
Oh my gosh, and there's the catch. Right on the tip of my tongue, you see an incredible play there from Cactus, and I think that is going to be the nail in the coffin for Trent.
Absolutely phenomenal play, and then just mud-shotting down that last little bit of health on the Galarian Stunfisk. Very, very well played.
All right, well, there we have it. Evening the series, Cactus taking the victory in game number 2. We are now 1-1 going down to a deciding game number 3. Like we said, looking at some miscues in game number 1 coming from Cactus, able to rebound and have a very strong game number 2, able to pull off some very impressive plays here, shocking the audience.
Yes, so now it is down to these battlers 1-to-1 to try to decide who has learned the most, who has gathered the most information about their opponent and able to use it effectively in this decisive game 3.
Well, we saw the Nidoqueen in game number 1. I think there's potential to go back to it here, knowing that we might see that Alolan Ninetales come back out as well. But this time, I think they might try to line it up a little bit differently. Trent seems to really like that Swampert, so that is going to be a big target, or rather a big threat for that Nidoqueen. Could keep it on the bench, and knowing that we've actually seen that Swampert in 2 straight games, maybe we see a Trevenant come out here, DeFi.
We very well might. Trevenant is definitely something that Swampert is afraid of. That water and ground typing is not very good against even just the smallest blade of grass.
Absolutely, just double weakness. It gets obliterated by anything grass. The least energy, the smallest, least hard-hitting charge move, still proving double effective and threatening to KO.
So right at the start here, we had the Sableye and the Umbreon switching, both players switching out. We now have Nidoqueen versus Swampert here, and Nidoqueen throwing a Poison Fang to start chipping away at this Swampert's defense.
Yeah, interesting play. Didn't quite build up to the Earth Power there, but opting to go straight for that Poison Fang, trying to get the damage debuff there. And we now see the defense of the Swampert debuffed 1 stage. This Hydro Cannon coming through and almost KOing the Nidoqueen and able to farm down. Interesting no shield there. Now going to be having to see, do we bring in the Sableye or do we bring in the Toxicroak? I think that Nidoqueen had lots of play left and could have potentially pushed its way through that matchup, but did not want to commit there, we saw from Cactus. So now brings in the Sableye. And DeFi, do you see what I see?
I see no shield. That is what I see, Wholesome. And
oh, that is a
man,
huge Earthquake. It is not the Hydro Cannon. That is almost 100% of the HP of the Sableye.
Yes, and now the Sableye has gotten to a move, survived it, and now throws the foul play, clears out the Swampert, and now we have Toxicroak on Medicham, which is not the matchup that Toxicroak was wanting to see.
This reminds me so much of game number 1, where we're seeing it all come down to the single Toxicroak. Yes, it does have 2 shields, but this damage is going to start adding up. Really, you have to shield anything that's coming out. Psychic is a double super effective move, but even the Ice Punches are going to do some nice neutral damage. Back up against the wall. Can this Toxicroak find some way to turn this matchup? There is still the potential for a catch on that Sableye later in the game.
Yes, but we need to see the switch timer go down to be able to have that catch happen. We're still at about halfway through the switch timer. Medicham going to throw another Ice Punch. Will Cactus be using a shield? No. We
talked about the dominance of some of these different fighters and pseudo fighters and things like that. You have to give the advantage to the Medicham having access to the Psychic moveset, whereas the Poison moveset not going to be quite as valuable in the matchup here. So yeah, from what we're seeing here, it looks like that there might be a counter down coming, but no, not before this not before this Toxicroak is able to get to the Mud Bomb. It is going to hit for some nice neutral damage, but not quite knock out the Medicham.
Right, and if you look, Trent still has that entire Umbreon in the back.
And there you have it. Game number 3 going to Trent. A very straightforward victory, taking the 2-1 series victory. Congratulations to Trent, and games well played.